Hey everybody, and welcome back to Smith Party of Six. Today is our second installment of our Curriculum Pick series. Today I'm going to tell you guys all about what I have chosen to use for our kindergartner, Aspen. So for Ambleside, that means year 0. All right, so next up I'm going to start branching off into each individual child and the things that I'm using for them. So we'll go ahead and start with our youngest, Aspen. He's 5 and he's going to be doing kindergarten work this year, which means that as far as Ambleside Online goes, he is what's considered year 0. So there's not actually a schedule for year 0. It's just anything that comes before year 1, which is that first school age, usually around 6, when they start year 1. So since he's doing year 0, that means that he has a lot less books. His book stack obviously is going to be much shorter. Books are still obviously a big part of his education regardless, but it's just not something that I'm putting on a certain schedule. A lot of them might be books even that we just pick up at the library, things like that. But I will show you what we do have. So first of all, this is Old Faithful right here. I have been using this for forever, and of course we haven't used it recently. The last time that we used this was June 29th, so that's why it has that date on there. This calendar was what I originally bought to use with Arwen. The top little string here on it has snapped because I've just used it for so long, but I keep it in his cubby and we pull it out every day, and we use this for calendar time. So he gets to put the month, the date, the year, the days of the week, what season it is, what temperature it's going to be like outside, what the weather is going to be, different activities that we're going to do throughout that day, if there's a holiday coming up, and how he feels. We love this calendar. He has been doing it, I mean, probably a couple years now, but I'm still going to continue him doing it just because he's still at that age where he's really learning to understand a calendar. And so we are still using that. Next up, as far as literature goes, other than books that I might pick up at the library, we're going to start off reading different selections from Beatrix Potter this year. So for example, this book has The Tale of Peter Rabbit, The Tale of Squirrel Nutkin, Benjamin Bunny, Two Bad Mice, Mrs. Tiggywinkle, Mr. Jeremy Fisher, Tom Kitten, Jemima Puddle Duck, The Tale of the Flopsy Bunnies, Ginger and Pickles, The Tale of Mrs. Tittlemouse, and The Tale of Timmy Tippy-Toes. So all sorts of Beatrix Potter goodness in there, and I cannot wait to read this with him. Arwen really enjoyed when we read all of these together, and even the older kids, when they first started homeschool, we used some of the stuff off of Easy Peasy, like over our first summer break. We weren't technically doing summer breaks then, we were kind of doing school all year round, but that's what I did over summer instead of using our Good and the Beautiful stuff, and they just really enjoyed it. Of course, Beatrix Potter is classic, so I'm looking forward to that. And then Aspen is getting so good at reading. He was even just reading to me earlier today, and I was just felt like I was marveling because things that used to take him a while to get through, like a story of a certain length, now he's zooming through. He read me 5 different stories earlier today. So there's just been something over summer break that's just kind of like clicked for him suddenly with reading. And so as the year goes on, I will also have him read these to me, these little bear readers here, and that will be part of his literature. All of these are actually on the year 0 book list. So there are things that I picked up before that I thought would be fun for, I think, originally Arwen, and now I get to pass them down to Aspen too. When it comes to actual like reading and phonics lessons, I had looked at several different things and thought about getting them. A friend uses All About Reading. I know that it's a really good program. We have How to Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. I used that with Arwen. It was okay, not super exciting, but it got the job done type of thing. So I was thinking about using all of these different programs, but honestly, since it has just clicked for him and now he's just started to read and he's doing really well with it, I think more than anything else, he just needs continued practice. And we already have the McGuffey readers in there, the whole set of those. And so he's just going to be reading from the pictorial primer this year. And that'll give me an opportunity to go over phonics sounds as we're reading. And it does like sight words and things like that too. So he's going to be using this McGuffey reader for reading. I actually found this at our local used bookstore. It was just the whole box set of them. We have them in there on our shelf. And I found it for a really reasonable price, so keep your eyes peeled. These can be a valuable resource, at least for, you know, just basic reading lessons or if your child needs extra reading practice. For poetry, we are going to be continuing one of the books that he was using last year that we didn't finish yet, and it's a children's book of verse illustrated by Eric Kincaid. These have been super fun. He has one in there that we talked about on our like review video of like our favorite books and stuff that was called Mr. Nobody, and it was like his favorite poem in here. So we're almost all the way through this book, and then after we're done with it, we're gonna go ahead and start on The Real Mother Goose. And this is where I actually chose his recitation poems for the year too. I just picked out some favorite nursery rhymes, and those are ones that he's going to learn this year. For handwriting, I use a couple different things for him. So first of all, I still use the Good and the Beautiful for some of our handwriting stuff. So he is in the level K Good and the Beautiful handwriting, and he has started that already. And then we also have this set of like these little wooden blocks that are indented where the letter is, and it comes with this little wooden, basically fake pencil, and he uses that to trace the letter. And of course, since it's indented, it kind of keeps his pencil in the right place. So he was using these all last year, and we still have them, so he can still use them whenever he wants. I will say that honestly, for 5, his handwriting is pretty good. And so if that's something, if these blocks are something that you're interested in, I will have those linked down in the description box. One side has the uppercase letters, and then on the back it has the lowercase. Last but not least is math. And this is one, it's been a little difficult for us. We have switched several times now. I know that I'm not alone. There's lots of moms out there who have talked about the fact that they have had to switch a lot. It is just so frustrating because math is not one of those things that I wanted to have to switch. I didn't want there to be gaps, but I digress. Not everything goes to plan. So this year we are going to try and go full on Charlotte Mason with our math approach. I ordered the Charlotte Mason Elementary Arithmetic series. So if you have not seen it before, I'm sure that I will do a review at some point, but the book, it seems, again, this is more like, this is for the mom. I am leading the lessons. We actually just started earlier this week. I want to try to kind of ease them back into the routine, and he loves this. It's very simple. It's a gentle approach. So I just had him start at the beginning of book 1. Arwen is also going to be in book 1 for now, but she's further along in it. So at the beginning of book 1, it just starts with the numbers. So for example, today we were on number 3, and so he had to find 3 of something in the room. And then we wrote the number 3 on their slate, which it has the grid on one side and it's blank on the other side. Then I lay out number cards and he has to find the number 3s. Then we'll write it in his little math notebook. So again, practicing with the writing. There's just multiple things that we do. We work with manipulatives. So I'm just asking him questions aloud and he's messing with the manipulatives. Later on, it has him do it without manipulatives, which is good too. And then instead of being more like a word problem, then it also does pure number. So then I'll say things like, what is 2 take away 1? And he can tell me 1, or whatever the case may be. So this is a very gentle approach. It does not look like it's going to be frustrating for my kids who get a little bit frustrated with math. It doesn't seem, so far at least what I've looked at, like a ton of algebraic thinking like Singapore was. It seems like very straightforward math and a gentle approach to practicing it, but while keeping focused. So, you know, there's not lots of cluttery page stuff for them to look at where they get distracted. It's just a lesson with me sitting down with them and we're just going back and forth, just doing math. It's very simple and I like that so far. So we'll see how it goes throughout the year. For book 1, I decided to not buy the bundle and instead put together the box on my own. So I found this box at Mardell when I was there, and a lot of the other stuff we already had. So like we had beans and craft sticks and buttons to use for manipulatives. I did order pipe cleaners because I didn't really have very many of those left over, and we have like beads and stuff like that. I also ordered some of the lacing cord because we'll need that for some of it. But it was very, very easy to build my own box, and it was a lot cheaper than buying the bundle. So if you're someone who has a lot of stuff that you could use as manipulatives, oh, you have to put like some money, some coins in there too that they'll be practicing with. So if you're someone that has a lot of stuff like that laying around, like we had already collected a bunch of stuff, then it makes it super inexpensive. The book I think was in the 40s or 50s. So it wasn't bad. It's a very nice quality book. Hardcover. It has 2 different bookmarks in there, which is nice because I have 2 kids in the book. So anyways, it hopefully, fingers crossed, is gonna work out really well for us, but I'll let you know. So I also forgot to mention at the end of that video that he's also going to be doing geography. And for that, we are using these little continent cards. So he's gonna be learning about the continents of the world this year, the names of the oceans. And then if he does all of that, we will move on to the countries in North America. Honestly, I got these cards forever ago, so I'm not even 100% sure where I downloaded them from. I think maybe on Teachers Pay Teachers, if I'm not mistaken. At the top, it says Mama's Learning Corner. So you might be able to look that up. Just maybe type in Mama's Learning Corner, continent cards, and you should be able to find the download. So it has cards for all of the different continents in different colors. And then to make sure that they haven't memorized it by color, it also has them in black and white, like this. And you can also match them with the names, which will look like these. So it's a pretty easy little project. It's just a download. You cut it all out. I laminated ours so that they would keep for a while, but that's what we're focusing on for his geography this year. All right, but that's all for today. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below for more content like it, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.